Okay, there's more than $175,000 in the win pool here in Victoria. Let's have a look at the TAB update on the NEC Bendigo Cup. And you see that the favourite in the Cup today is the South Australian runner, number 5, Regimental Arms from the David Hayes stable at Angaston, to be ridden by Michael Clark. Rob, also in the market there, number 2 is Moods, which is from down at Toowoomba in Queensland. And also the one we were just talking about a minute ago, Home Show, number 15, is at $6.35. And I guess a few people in Ballarat, after seeing the little special there on Young Paddy, might duck into the local tote there and have a little bit of wager on the Ballarat Galloper. Let's have a look at the runners coming into the mounting yard. And first up, we have Bonded this afternoon, to be ridden by Stan Aiken. Rob, what's his form like?
Well, Alan, there's a query over this fellow. He was 13th of 15 last start over 1,600 metres in the Waterford Crystal at Moonee Valley. I have a question mark over whether this fellow can get the 2,200. Of course, he has won many races carrying the green colours and the white cap, those of the late Noel Kelly. A very, very honest horse. He'll give you a gutsy sight, but I just question whether or not he'll run the 2,200.
Well, on the TAB, showing $31.10. So certainly he's friendless in the market. Number 2, a traveller down from Queensland. Number 2 is Moods. Darryl Mott is the rider.
Well, unfortunately, Moods is drawn out in barrier 17, but over the 2,200 of the Bendigo Cup, he's going to be given plenty of time to take up a position. Interesting story about this fellow. There's a $200,000 price tag on this bloke. He's the people that actually lease the horse. The lease is up, and from this particular weekend, when the lease is finished, if you've got $200,000, you can buy this fellow. I don't think you can leave him without a chance in this. He finished well down the track in the Melbourne Cup. Providing he hasn't taken any harm from that, you've got to throw him in with this in this race with a chance at $4.10 and $1.25.
Let's go down to number 4 in the book, and that is Pabulum, which is Dan Malecki's tip this afternoon, ridden by former Horsham apprentice Glenn Darrington.
Well, the last start winner at Cheltenham, as Danny mentioned before, beating Frontier Boy, and we saw on Saturday how Frontier Boy came out and won the last race of the carnival at Flemington, and that's got to give him an excellent chance. This young Glenn Darrington, the boy to take the ride, he's drawn fairly well in form, will give him a good sight.
And on the TAB, that horse is showing $5.80, certainly well in the market. Number 5, one of the visitors here today, is Regimental Arms, to be ridden by Michael Clark from the David Hayes stable at Angaston in South Australia. Certainly a big chance, and at the Calcutta last night, he was the one that they all wanted.
Well, he's the favourite on the tote at $2.05 and $1.10, and Regimental Arms, for me, Alan, has really only got to run up to his form, of course, in the Werribee Cup. Had the race won all bar the post when over the top of him came Tiago Pearl, and I think back 200 metres in this particular race today, he's my pick actually to win the Cup.
And he's coming to the tote favourite at $2.05. Please note number 6, Awesome Mover, a late scratching at 2 this afternoon. Let's get down to the 7th runner in the book, and that is Red Zarm, ridden by Greg Childs.
Well, there was a query over this fellow, whether he'd run the 2,200. I had a look at his form last night, and 5 starts ago, almost 12 months back it is, in December of 1990, he won over 2,000 metres. Now, the story around is that this horse actually was saved from Flemington on the weekend to run here, and Rick Lacey, you can't underestimate this guy. He's a very shrewd and calculating fellow who places his horse brilliantly. So each way chance Red Zarm.
Well, Red Zarm on the TAB in Victoria at $3.25. Another visitor, number 8, Stick Around, from Western Australia, and all the way over today is Paul Dyson, a former South Australian rider who served his apprenticeship in Adelaide and now based in Perth.
Only finished a few lengths just off the winners, of course, of the Werribee Cup over the 2,600. He's going to appreciate this 2,200 here at Bendigo, and the big track's going to suit him down to the ground. I think he's probably the hardest to beat.
He's got plenty of friends in Victoria on the TAB, $3.30. Number 9 in the book from the John Marr stable is Explorer, to be ridden by Damien Oliver.
Yes, Explorer, trained by John Marr, and you can't underestimate anything that John Marr brings to the country. He's had a wonderful spring carnival so far. This particular horse, I think, might be found wanting a little bit in this. He goes up to the 2,200, failed at Caulfield over 2,000 metres, 2 starts back.
$11.75, good each way value. Number 10 is Masochistic from Wyong in New South Wales. The apprentice Mark Flaherty to ride.
Don't know a lot about Masochistic. He's drawn barrier 18, only with 51 kgs on him, so he's only got a postage stamp on his back compared to the other horses in the race above him. Of course, 3 starts ago, ran and won at Randwick over the 2,000 metres, and last start was 2nd of 7 at Canterbury. Don't know a lot about him, so we've really got to take him on trust.
He's a big odds, $15.30. Number 11 is Mercator, the only New Zealand horse in the race, ridden today by Gary Murphy.
Well, all I can tell you, Alan, if this fellow gets up, he's going to get up without me and without a lot of other people on him. Drawn barrier 11, again with only 57. His form isn't anything to write home about. Last start 11th of 13 in the Grey Smith at Flemington, and a fair way down the track at 16 to 1 on that occasion.
Well, well today. He's only $6.15 on the TAB here in Victoria. Number 12 in the book, to be ridden by Peter Hutchinson from the Hanlon stable at Epsom, is Tesoldi. We saw this horse last week.
We did see the horse last week, and I spoke with Nick Collum before the race, and we heard Paul Shawbull speak to him just a short time ago. Nick believed the horse was a little bit unlucky. I thought he had every chance. I thought Peter Hutchinson rode him a tremendous race, and of course he gets his chance today. Of course he's back another 200, or he goes forward another 200 metres. That's the query over Tesoldi, whether he'll get the 2200.
And on the tote at the moment, $5.65. Number 13 in the book is Davalora Lad, ridden by Ernie Marchant.
Ernie Marchant from Barrier 5, and good form up in the country. His last 3 starts, he's won his last 2 at Wangaratta and Berrigan. In fact, won the Berrigan Cup over the 2100 metres. I just think he might be finding these a little bit too tough. But then again, Roger Hoisted from Wangaratta, again, like John Maher, places his horse brilliantly, and I think winning form is good form, so you couldn't leave him out of your trifecta.
He's showing $17 at the moment. Number 14 is Gallicus, Danny Nikolic.
OK, Gallicus, not for mine. One here trained by Jeff Murphy with the apprentice Danny Nikolic on board. 4th of 9 at Yarra Glen. Not for mine.
Number 15, the Ballarat trained Home Show.
Well, as Danny said before, you can put this fellow in your trifectas. Of course, 2nd of 11 at Ballarat. Again, he was unlucky in the Horsham Cup, I thought, over the 2100 metres. There's no doubt that he will run the 2200, so again, another horse for your trifectas.
And the last runner to go out onto the track, number 17, Favoured Boy.
Not for mine. I think you can put him in your trifectas if you want him.
I think we'll make a fortune out of that. Well, that's the field in the NEC Bendigo Cup. We'll be back with a big one right after this break.